My name is Leboherb. I'm a social creative. I'm 30 years old. What is a social creative exactly? Basically, I come up with concepts for social development. So I look at different concepts and in communities. I look at different concepts in communities that need to maybe be digitized or to make them fresher. And I sit down with a team of creatives and we do that. We work under a team called Think Digital Concepts. And what we're doing right now, we're just cooking up a whole lot of projects and we're getting in line to execute in the near future. It actually has adapted, if anything. COVID-19 forced Think Digital Concept to actually go into its core root, which is thinking digital. Funny enough, before COVID-19, we weren't doing any digital concepts. We were looking at doing various projects that were not digital. But COVID-19 forced us to actually go digital and look at other digital concepts that we had in line that we wanted to do. And that's what we're doing now. We're refining things. We've learned a lot on how we can use certain pandemics to an advantage in a digital platform, as well as just use digital as a way of moving forward, because that's where life is going. So yeah. Sanitize. I think that's the best thing we've tried to do, as well as keep our groups more and if possible, work via your Zoom and as well as Skype. But then we've had times where we've had to come together and sit down, and when we do that, we do have sanitizers, personal sanitizers, as well as where we will be meeting. We have sanitizers, but more than that, it's just about also being aware as yourself. So I knew that I leave home and I only go there, and I'm not going anywhere else. And if I do go anywhere else, I have my protective mask and my sanitizer. So I was also consciously limiting, the contraction through various ways.
Okay. Have you found any alternative ways to continue pushing and generating income as a creative?
Yeah, that's actually hard. I mean, pushing an income as a creative is very hard, because most likely you need the capital. So that's where we are. But getting the income is basically getting the paperwork done, getting the grind done, and executing your project as well as you can. It's very hard to get the income right now through COVID-19. You have to be very, very much digital about it. The people that are making right now, I'd say, are people that are into delivery, but I'd also say that they need to grow the space. They need to not focus on just the food delivery, but just broaden the avenues on that. And that's how I think more income streams will come in during this time. For Think Digital Concept, we haven't seen much of an income right now during this pandemic, but that is fine for us, because we saw this as a building block where we're saying, okay, we're seeing that the world is going to change and we need to restructure. We need to use this time to restructure and actually, offer something fresh in the near future. Um, 50-50, yes. You can't really say no, because you have seen what the efforts that have been done. Just yesterday I saw FNB has a whole platform. They have a project that is released for creatives, photographers. They're offering competitions and certain stuff. So in that light, yes. But creatives aren't really in the limelight, I think. I don't think we understood properly. I think a lot of people see us as people that are very, risk takers and just haphazard. They just want to get through with things. So, I don't think the government is actually thinking of the creative as who the creative is. So we can't really see that. But to a certain extent, the corporates that know what creatives are, that have worked with creatives, the likes of your FNB, the likes of your Nike, are actually getting involved and are getting, those platforms up for creatives to actually participate. definitely. We had to revise our business model, but not too much, because I think Digital Concept was always going to be a digital, company. So majority of our work, we wanted to be digital. But for like your event side, which is something that we want to do, we have to restructure and think of what way can we actually enter. Are we still going to have events, and if so, what will be the market? So we have to restructure. We had to sit down and restructure, and we actually had a whole brainstorming session with the team 2 weeks ago. We had a board and we specified, ideas and suggestions, and saying, this is COVID-19. What do we need to do? What do we need to change? So we've actually been very proactive in terms of being aware that this is going to change things, and we want to be part of that change. I think again, for my team, I think that would be something we'd want to look into, but we're not there. I think we'd want to more gravitate to more private investors for various reasons. But also, when you're applying for these grants, there's a whole lot of red tape, where with the creatives, to be honest, there isn't much of a structure there. We're creating our own structure. So, when I go there, most probably they're going to want a bank certificate or a bank statement, and most creatives don't have that. Most creatives are living on, various and different ways of tracking their income. So for me, the funding is good and all. It'll work for those creatives, but I think it will work for majority of the creatives that are already established, and not the creatives that are coming up. Where the creatives are coming up, I think that's a bit of a gray area, where we're not being looked at, and there's no way to validate or to say, okay, cool, you have done you have a business plan, so maybe we can help you in educating you in improving your business plan, type of thing. I think that those are things that local creatives at a lower rank level need. Those are the tools that they need, as opposed to just throwing cash mostly. She told me about one. I just can't remember who. It was actually a private guy that was willing to invest in creatives that wanted to go to school. So he was willing to pay for the school fees for creatives that wanted to go to school. Other than that, and my eyes have been glued, I haven't heard much besides the F&B one that I've just mentioned, which I found out yesterday, which I found was a great initiative. But again, it does not cover for everyone. Filming is covered, photography is covered, musicians are covered. But your social creatives, people that want to create your normal apps developments, your website developments for various reasons, does not have to be for delivery, are not being catered for. Collaboration has been key, I think, from the day I realized entrepreneurship was very big in townships, for the main fact that we can grow the market. I've always believed that someone, I know someone, we can just bring the brand together and grow it and just work together. So collaboration in general is just a big thing for me. If I have a shoe brand and you have a t-shirt brand, we should just try and sell the pair together at the same price. That's just my thing, and that should be across the whole creative, mindset in townships for us to grow.
Do you have any idea what will happen when COVID-19 eventually ends, and what would you like to see happen in the aftermath?
COVID-19 ends, I'm expecting a huge celebration from South Africa, but more than that, I'm seeing a whole lot of transformation in business. I'm seeing a whole lot of people a whole lot of company wanting to work remotely. I'm seeing a whole lot of individuals wanting to start their own things, because now they realize that, actually, COVID-19 has actually made me uncomfortable, and my job is not actually everything. So, post COVID-19, I'm seeing a lot of great things from young entrepreneurs, young individuals, as well as people that never saw themselves being in this space. It's something that's going to grow out of them. They're going to either spark an educational, need or something. I'm just seeing a whole lot of great things out of this. Yes, it's going to be hard. A whole lot of things are going to be hard, but I also feel like it has given a gap for a fresh air. Digital industry and the sports industry and any industry that I've been in, I think the best advice that I can give creatives is just to be tuned in and don't limit yourself. The biggest thing with us as creatives, we only want to be creatives in our own space, and we don't want to grow. For me, the biggest thing is challenging yourself to even going to Mpumalanga and staying in Mpumalanga and making it work in Mpumalanga, because the demand is higher in Mpumalanga. It's also understanding, that the demographic in Johannesburg, and Gauteng as a whole is washed, and by that I mean, like, we are so advanced that we're doing so many things that other provinces are lacking. So we need to stretch our wings and actually go out and speak to other creatives in other provinces and collaborate with them and grow the nation together. Creatives is not just about growing Soweto, it's about growing South Africa and Africans in general.